Take a look at this. This is from NFL Game Day. This is 10-plus sacks since 2019. Myles Garrett with 4 seasons. Hassan Reddick with 3. T.J. Watt with 3. Za'Darius Smith, the guy they just traded for, with 3. And Aaron Donald with 3. So Jason McCourty, Kyle Brandt from Good Morning Football on the NFL Network, trying to put in perspective just how good the Browns' defensive edge rushers can be.
So it begs the question, do the Browns have the best pass rushing duo in the league right now? Could have gone historical, could have just looked at the Browns, but we want to look at it as a whole. Are they the best?
Yeah, I'm going to challenge your Browns, and I'm going to go down the road to Pittsburgh, and I'm going to look at the duo that they have that is forming. Alex Highsmith on the other side have 14.5 sacks last year. Watt injured, didn't play in all the games, only played in 10 games. If he gets back to form, 22.5 sacks in 2021, I think these two can make up the best pass rushing duo. And don't forget Cam Hayward's on the team too. He had 10.5 sacks last year as well. But I think Alex Highsmith stepping up and Watt's absence last year, and now T.J. Watt coming back full strength, I think those two coming off the edge can really challenge the Browns with Myles Garrett and Za'Darius Smith. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh down the street.
Steelers finished 9-8. I think they make the playoffs without the Watt injury. It's football. People get injured, but they were good, and he'll be good next year. But I'm going to check. I'm going to stay right here. Same division, same topic. I think it's the Browns. I still think Myles Garrett is the man. It's a weird thing with the Browns. I like talking about their players and their team because the Browns conversation over the last 2 years has been so bizarre and awkward, and it will continue to be because of their quarterback situation. But there's nothing bizarre and awkward about that guy. He almost ended Justin Fields' career in year 1, like in that game. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Unbelievably unblockable, unstoppable, #1 overall pick. Za'Darius, great. Put anybody with Myles Garrett, I still think he's the man.
And Scott, two things. You heard someone actually nationally verbalize the situation with Deshaun Watson, and I think that's why the rankings are kind of skewed. But put somebody that can get after the quarterback, and I know Jadeveon Clowney was good, but you got Okunrankwo now, and you got Za'Darius Smith, and you got Tomlinson. I think Myles Garrett's lining up for, the type of year that he wants to have, which is in the conversation on the short list for Player of the Year on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, they need him to have that, right? And it's hard to, he had 16 sacks each of the last 2 years, right? So I don't know what the ceiling is. I think he would say it's 21 or 22, and that's probably doable in the right circumstances. And I think the right circumstances include being surrounded by talent on that front, which the Browns have tried to do. And I do think Smith is an upgrade over Jadeveon Clowney. I think Tomlinson's an upgrade over whoever else they had at D-tackle. Okoronkwo is an upgrade over, Alex Smith was probably your third end last year. And then they had Chase Winovich. I just like the Browns surrounding Myles Garrett with more talent. And then you have a coordinator in Jim Schwartz who loves to go attack. And I think he'll take some responsibility in the run game off of Myles Garrett's plate. And then, if the Browns come out and score like they think they can and throw the ball early and get a lead and then turn it over to the pass rush, you need that to happen to get those games where you get, 3, 4, 5 sacks, right? It can't be when the other team's running the ball 25, 30 times a game. That's not how it happens. So I think it could all set up, in the perfect, if the blueprint comes together, it could set up for an even bigger year than normal for Myles Garrett. And that's really an interesting discussion. I mean, Highsmith is good. And I didn't know he had 14.5 last year. I thought there were some games without Watt where he disappeared a little bit. But it'll be interesting to see what Myles does with a couple of other big-time, or, another big-time pass rusher with him.
Yeah, and again, I'm anxious to see it, and it's lining up to be very good. And Jim Schwartz has come out and said it's my job to figure out how to get him one-on-one so he's not being double-teamed and triple-teamed. So it'll be interesting to see.